You're watching the AtaQuit gaming channel. This is Whitaker bringing you another Last Oasis video. Today we're going to be talking about the new developer update that was just released the 20th of June 2020. And with this update, this community chat comes a whole slew of information. The developers have put a lot of thought into this massive post. The first part of this post actually goes to explain what happened and why everything was sort of delayed. They've had a lot of problems, and one of the paragraphs starts is, due to the situation we dealt with during the week surrounding the game's launch, on top of the global pandemic and the teams shifting to remote work environments, there has been a lot of transitions and adaptations happening. Until recently, we were in what we could call crisis management mode to recover from technical issues, both visible and invisible to the players. We've been dealing with resolving internal communication problems, plus giving our teams much deserved and needed breaks after working long hours for many weeks in a row after the launch. This has accumulated in some unplanned silences from us to the community. We've been figuring out what we want to share, how we want to share it, when we want to share it, and those plans have continued to change while we've watched the reactions to things we've put out. What that tells me is the developers and the management team there has gone through an absolutely ringer of the past few months. Not only were they an independent crew trying to put out their first game, but due to the global pandemic and the fact that things didn't go as well as planned, they've just been swamped. And that's entirely fair. I know most people, when they think about gaming companies, they think about something like Blizzard, Activision, or Bethesda, Ubisoft, something along those lines, to where if there's a problem, it doesn't stay for long. For the most part, the company is able to fix the problem with relative quickness. Now, one of the things that I wanted to address, that I do believe I've mentioned in a previous video, is that more than likely what is happening is they have certain planned updates weeks, even months in advance, and they have a separate team that is working on the problems that we see regularly on the day-to-day game. So when an update comes out that's something off the wall and random and not really what the community has been talking about, it was more than likely a planned update that is being released on schedule. Not to say the problems with the community aren't being dealt with, but more than likely it's being dealt with by a separate team. In this post, they've stated that they are looking to put the roadmap for Last Oasis up for the community, which basically means that they're trying to be exceptionally transparent in everything that they do. And they want to share with you guys what it is that they've planned and have been working for quite some time. They want to share with you the direction that Last Oasis is going, because whether we like it or not, we're along for the ride. If we want to continue to play this game, I think it's best to know what the developers have in store for it. Before we start on the Q&A, I want to go ahead and put up this post that was put on the Last Oasis Discord. I'll go ahead and leave a link to that in the description below. Zanjis, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, posted this, and I'm actually not sure if this is a developer or just a member of the Last Oasis Discord. But he says, for this patch that's just hit the PTR, new decorative including chairs, tables, and lamps. I don't really care so much about the chairs and the tables, though I guess that could be cool for RP. But I'm more interested about the lamps and if they actually produce a decent amount of light. So when the eclipse comes through, you can light up your walker a bit easier. Alright, we've got heavy wing variants given to most walkers. I am super excited about this one. Putting heavy wings on my buffalo or my stiletto or even my dinghy would be amazing. A new skirmish wing that is between a speed and a heavy wing added to a few walkers. Now I'd like to see that one. It's kind of a middle ground. I'm not sure which walkers they would add it to. I'm pretty sure the Falco would have it. I feel like that would be a walker that would definitely be given some love in terms with the skirmish wing. Alright, the next one we've got here is the Domus Walker added a tanky people mover at a Titan tier that only costs 16 tablets. Now I've seen this thing. It is absolutely massive, and it is a brutal walker to see. If you want to see what it looks like in action with all the upgrades, go ahead and hit us back up here on the AtaQuit gaming channel next week, and we will have one ready for you. Oh, and the fact that it's 16 tablets. Super cool. Firestone weapons that are around the same tier as ceramic, but are made from lava. Now that sounds fantastic. That would probably bring in quite a bit better of an aesthetic to some of those weapons. And it just goes really well with the theme of like the Dark Crater. And for those weapons, a heat system where lava can be collected and stored with special high temperature flasks and containers. So they're probably either going to alter the flasks and containers that they've got in there now, or add a completely separate tier branch that is solely for hot liquids. Explosive bolts and fire bombs which cause AoE damage. That sounds phenomenal. I mean, we've already got a bit of AoE damage when it comes to like the green bomb or the fog bomb, but I think they're trying to add in more uses for the lava as well, and that's where these would come into play. And last but not least, the brand new map. Really looking forward to seeing that with you guys. It might end up being a bit later because I'm actually not sure if they are going to be posting this map on the private servers, which is where I do the majority of my recording. But if they are, we'll get that out to you in no time. We'll make sure that you see it and you explore it when we do. Alright, for the next part of this video, we have a few Q&As that Donkey Crew has posted that we are going to go ahead and give you the summary for. Alright, and the first one. Why did you stop communicating with the community like you were doing in the beginning? Well, we've already kind of answered this one with the previous paragraph quote, so we'll go ahead and jump on to the next one. What's the roadmap for the game? Again, we've actually answered this one as well. We're doing really good today. Alright, for the next question. What is your plan for the Zerg problems and making the game more solo friendly? The most impactful sentence in this paragraph is actually the last one. We're working on designing all kinds of new gameplay loops and entirely new experiences, like unique mechanics on event maps, arenas, exploration-based dungeons, and many more. Which means we are in store for something absolutely amazing. I love it when companies do this. When will you add in clam, perms, logs, alliances, systems, other? QOL, things that the community has been asking for. Essentially, they're going to add a section into their own Discord to help out with clans, but all in all, they're working on it and they cannot give us an exact time. Alright, next question. Future walkers. Will they be geared towards solo, small groups, or larger clans? Our plan is to continue adding new types of walkers throughout the entire development process that are geared towards a variety of playstyles. There will be walkers better suited for solo players, walkers that focus on attack or defense, specialized walkers that excel at one thing over the other, and many more. Which basically means they are not planning on stopping. We're going to have an entire slew of them and it's going to be amazing. Which means we can get into different walker builds, or, as a previous video mentioned, what would be a fantastic armada? Alright, next question. Why aren't you doing more about cheaters, reported players, or clans? Essentially, we're continuing to actively address cheating issues, both with the help of our anti-cheat protection and our reports. By the time we did this last announcement, we had many new but reliable systems to detect and automatically ban almost any cheater in the game. They are actively working on it, which is absolutely great news for me. I cannot stand cheaters. It's just one of those things that suck the marrow out of a game. When can we expect updates for private servers? The feature to delete tiles will be coming with the volcanic update next week. Yes! If you've dealt with them in the past, or if you own a private server, you'll know that you can't actually delete a tile and you're only allotted 5 slots, which is becoming absolutely insane. I have actually had to create a Steam account, a new account for the server, and then play on that account, which is bonkers. Just add a delete button. They're finally doing it. I love it. We'll also be continuing to work on improving the entire private server system over time, prioritizing your requests first going forward. We'll be looking into providing an experience that's as close to official servers as possible, but also adding features to customize your experience, potentially also expanding the ability to host your private servers with other providers and self-host too. I'm sorry, I had to read that entire one, guys. I'm really excited about this update. That one is fantastic news for me and my private server. Next question is, will you be taking community feedback into consideration more frequently moving forward? Essentially, they love our enthusiasm, but it can be overwhelming, and they will try to make it work. Next questions, will you start doing live Q&As again? Simple answer is yes. I love it. What work is being done to reduce server crashes? Essentially, they're saying that there's no single cause for a server crash and that they're continuously including hotfixes that will help it out in the end. Alright, this next question's been on my mind for a while as well. Wipes. Well, we're not excluding the possibility of wipes in the future. We've designed the burning system to function as a soft wipe mechanic, getting rid of old structures and preventing stale clan-owned lands. We're planning to continuously improve and polish the features that fortify this design ideology. We're listening to your suggestions and concerns to adjust it to the way you play. Potentially there could be some additional soft wipe mechanics in the future that clear the persistent world on a deeper level rather than just destroying the old maps. But we'd like to investigate more globally how any of those changes would affect the global map. I like the wipe system. Essentially, I feel Rust had it right, but it would be very interesting to see how they would incorporate that into Last Oasis. And the final question, are you working on resolving the inciting issues? And the short answer is absolutely. They're basically making it exceptionally more difficult with inciting by using the clan's permission systems. Well, that was a developer post. I do apologize for it being a wee late. Remember, next week we should be releasing either a walker, a map, or both videos come Thursday if it posts like it should on time. Thank you for watching the AtaQuit gaming channel. This is Whitaker. Until next time.